Hi, everybody. We're here at App Field Day number 2, happening at KubeCon, thanks to Tech Field Day. Now, we just talked to Heroku, who presented, and it's a platform as a service. Let's hear from our delegates on what they have to say.
So seeing Heroku at AppDev Field Day has been really interesting today. Maybe because it's AppDev Field Day at KubeCon and Cloud Native Con. How so? Well, Heroku is platform as a service, PaaS, right? They're one of the original platform as a service providers, and their value proposition from the beginning has literally been go ahead and go code, build your app, create your integrations, whatever you're going to do, and you don't have to care about the infrastructure underneath. But we're at KubeCon, we're at Cloud Native Con at the same time. Heroku is at KubeCon and Cloud Native Con, I think maybe for the first time. There's a real significance to that. That's where you do care about the infrastructure and how it works, because all of this cloud native development has been around allowing the software folks to do what they want to do and be able to rely on well orchestrated, highly available as needed, well within scope and requirements infrastructure run by the operations folks. So Heroku's overall value proposition around code what you want to do on the platform, don't worry about the infrastructure, seems to come into a funny conflict with the whole purpose of cloud native. And I'm looking forward to seeing what Heroku has to talk about very soon and how it brings those two worlds together.
Heroku is a way to do DevOps without the ops. It's how do you offload your operations into somebody else's cloud environment, and all you need to focus on is your development. So I'm very interested to see how they take that from catering to small companies to really catering to the enterprises, and helping enterprises no longer need to invest lots in infrastructure management.
I really enjoyed the Heroku presentation. It was a bit of a fire hose. It seemed pretty obvious that the presenters were aware that they had a time limit. So absorbing everything was a bit of a challenge, but I was really impressed with the aspect of it that kind of provided just for developers to deploy applications, kind of hiding the operational side of things. I have to admit, as a lifelong operations guy, that kind of scares me. I want to understand more of the guts, what's underneath the hood of this. So, when they talked about the dynos and the various aspects of it, I kind of wanted to drill down a little more and know how that mapped to various AWS services underneath. But it's really interesting. I really liked how open and frank their presenters were when we asked hard questions, especially when we're talking about canaries and how we might be concerned about deployment processes going to production. And they admitted that they're working on things and they have things to do to improve it. Really like that. I was impressed that they open sourced the 12-factor app manifesto this week. I'm looking forward to more announcements from them. Clearly, they're moving towards open source technology more than they have in the past, and I think that's particularly interesting.
All right, everybody, I'm going to give you my feedback here on AppDev Field Day happening at KubeCon. Now, my immediate feedback on Heroku itself, first of all, I am a SysOps guy, right? So when you think about things in the DevOps methodology, engineers just want to go and build things, but typically they have to build the infrastructure first to actually go do it. They have to go through the processes. What I liked about Heroku is you went into the interface and did it. Now you're thinking like, why can't I actually just do this with an AWS console? Well, each piece has to be done individually. Heroku takes that away from you, and you just actually think about deploying the code, managing the code, and doing it. Now, when you first look at things and you're trying to gauge the cost between doing that and within AWS, the cost of Heroku takes into accountability not only your data transfer, it takes into the accountability of the infrastructure on it, the management aspect of it, all the hidden costs that you're not thinking about of having a single person or engineer or a sysops guy actually do the work. That's where the cost comes into benefit, not only you on deploying that. I'm very interested in seeing what happens next, because I'm a big fan of Heroku when they first came about, and I haven't heard from them since. So now we're hearing them and some of the things that they're releasing. I'm looking forward to what they're doing next.
So Heroku, really interesting name we've heard from the past, but they're coming up to us now with a really different take. They're trying to shed off some of that kind of, oh, we're just for the developer, this for the little small startup space. And they're trying to talk about what they're doing in the more enterprise space and how they're evolving their platform. Now, we had some interesting discussions talking about how it generally only appealed to the developer, but that kind of DevOps thing's breaking up a little bit, and now how they can really promote that and position it towards operations as well. I'm really interested to see what they can do. There's some challenges and some struggles there. The messaging needs to be cleaned up, but they've got a lot of potential.